The night whispers, shadows dance. Among us walk creatures of legend, vampires. They are seductive, they are terrifying. Their story has been told for centuries, but what is the truth behind these creatures of the night? The vampire myth is a tapestry woven from fear and fascination. It reflects our deepest anxieties about mortality, seduction, and the darkness that lurks within us all. Join me, dear reader, as we journey into the heart of vampire lore. The belief in vampires is not confined to one time or place. Across the globe, various cultures have their own versions of these bloodthirsty beings, each with unique characteristics and stories that have been passed down through generations. From the ancient civilizations to modern societies, stories of these creatures haunt our collective imagination. They appear in folklore, literature, and even in modern media, reflecting our deepest fears and fascinations. In ancient Mesopotamia, the Ekimu were spirits that preyed on the living, draining them of life force. These malevolent entities were believed to be the restless souls of those who had died violently or without proper burial rites. Ancient Greece feared the Lamia, a demoness who preyed on children drinking their blood. According to legend, Lamia was once a beautiful queen who was transformed into a monster by the gods, cursed to wander the earth in search of her next victim. In India, the Vetala were restless spirits that inhabited corpses, seeking to prolong their existence. These beings were often depicted as malevolent and cunning, capable of possessing the bodies of the dead to carry out their sinister deeds. These ancient myths reveal a universal fear of the undead, creatures that defy death and prey on the living. Whether it's the Ekimu, Lamia, or Vetala, these stories highlight a common thread in human culture: the fear of what lies beyond the grave and the possibility of encountering those who have returned from it. This fascination with the undead continues to captivate us as we explore the boundaries between life and death and the mysteries that lie in the shadows. History is replete with tales of suspected vampires. One of the most famous cases is that of Jure Grando Alilovic, a 17th century peasant from Istria, Croatia. After his death, villagers claimed that Grando returned from the grave, terrorizing the community and preying on his former neighbors. Another chilling account comes from 18th century Serbia, where Petar Blagojevic allegedly rose from his grave and killed 9 people. These stories, though often shrouded in superstition, fueled the vampire legend and instilled a deep-seated fear of the undead. While the vampires of legend may seem like figures of pure fantasy, there are certain traits and behaviors that have long been associated with these creatures of the night. These traits, often rooted in folklore and superstition, can help us identify potential vampires in the modern world. Vampires are often described as possessing an unnatural charisma and allure. They are masters of seduction, drawing victims into their web with their charm and magnetism. Their gaze is said to be intense and hypnotic, capable of captivating and controlling those around them. The vampire's kiss feeding and sustenance. The most defining characteristic of a vampire is their need to feed on the life essence of the living. In folklore, this is almost always depicted as the drinking of blood, a potent symbol of life force and vitality. Vampires are said to crave blood, needing it to sustain their own unnatural existence. While some modern interpretations of vampires explore alternative forms of sustenance, such as psychic energy or emotional feeding, the act of consuming life force from others remains a central theme. Aversion to light and sacred objects. Unveiling the vampire's weaknesses. Vampires are creatures of darkness, shunning the light of day. Sunlight is often portrayed as lethal to vampires, burning them to ash upon contact. This aversion to light is symbolic of their unholy nature, their existence in opposition to the natural order. They are also repelled by sacred objects such as crucifixes, holy water, and garlic. These items represent faith and purity, forces that vampires steeped in darkness cannot withstand. The vampire's lair, unveiling their secret abode. Vampires are said to inhabit dark, secluded places during daylight hours. Their lairs are often depicted as ancient castles, crumbling ruins, or forgotten crypts, places where death lingers and darkness reigns. These hidden spaces serve as both refuge and hunting ground, providing shelter from the sun's deadly rays and a base from which to stalk their prey. The vampire's lair is an extension of their own nature, a physical manifestation of their darkness and isolation. The mark of the vampire: physical signs and telltale clues. Identifying a vampire goes beyond their behavior. It involves recognizing subtle yet distinct physical signs that set them apart from ordinary humans. Legend attributes certain physical characteristics to these creatures of the night. These traits have been documented in ancient texts and folklore passed down through generations. They are often described as pale and gaunt, their features sharpened by an unnaturally long life. This pallor is said to be a result of their nocturnal existence and their avoidance of sunlight. Their eyes are said to be piercing and intense, their color shifting with their mood or thirst. These eyes can captivate and hypnotize, drawing in their prey with an almost supernatural allure. Some tales speak of elongated canines, a subtle nod to their need to feed on blood. These canines are often hidden, only revealing themselves when the vampire is ready to feed. While these physical traits can be attributed to other causes, they contribute to the chilling mystique of the vampire. The combination of these features creates an aura of fear and fascination, making it difficult to distinguish myth from reality. In addition to these physical signs, vampires are often associated with an otherworldly presence. They move with a grace and silence that is almost inhuman, blending into the shadows and appearing when least expected. Their hands are often described as long and slender, with sharp nails that can easily tear through flesh. These hands are both a tool and a weapon, used to capture and subdue their prey. Some legends even suggest that vampires cast no reflection, adding to their eerie and elusive nature. This lack of reflection is seen as a sign of their detachment from the mortal world. The full moon is often linked to vampire activity, with many stories describing their heightened powers during this time. The moonlight enhances their already formidable abilities, making them even more dangerous. Ultimately, the physical signs and telltale clues of a vampire are a blend of myth and reality. They serve to create an image of a creature that is both terrifying and fascinating, a being that exists on the fringes of our understanding. The enduring shadow vampires in modern culture. The vampire myth continues to captivate our imaginations, evolving over time to reflect our changing fears and desires. From Bram Stoker's iconic Dracula to the brooding vampires of Anne Rice's novels, these creatures have become fixtures in literature, film and television. Modern vampire stories often explore themes of love, loss and the search for identity. They reflect our anxieties about sexuality, immortality, and the human condition. The enduring popularity of vampires suggests that these creatures continue to hold a powerful sway over our collective psyche. Conclusion: the Undying Fascination. The vampire myth is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. For centuries, these tales have been passed down through generations, evolving and adapting to the times. From the ancient legends of blood-drinking demons to the sophisticated, charismatic vampires of modern literature and film, the essence of the vampire has remained a captivating enigma. It reflects our deepest fears and desires, reminding us that the line between reality and imagination can be easily blurred. The vampire embodies our fear of the unknown, our dread of death, and our fascination with immortality. They are the perfect vessel for exploring the darker aspects of human nature, such as the thirst for power, the allure of forbidden desires, and the struggle with our own inner demons. While the vampires of legend may remain elusive, their presence continues to be felt in our culture and our subconscious. They have transcended their origins to become symbols of various societal issues, from the fear of disease and the unknown to the exploration of sexuality and identity. In every era, the vampire myth has been reinterpreted to reflect the anxieties and fascinations of the time. Perhaps the true allure of the vampire lies not in their existence, but in our enduring fascination with them. They are a mirror, reflecting our deepest fears and desires back at us. The vampire myth allows us to confront the parts of ourselves that we might otherwise shy away from, offering a safe space to explore the darker corners of our psyche. They represent the unknown, the forbidden, and the eternal struggle between darkness and light that resides within us all. The vampire's existence on the fringes of society, neither fully alive nor truly dead, speaks to our own fears of isolation and the unknown. Their immortality challenges our understanding of life and death, forcing us to confront our own mortality and the choices we make. So, the next time you find yourself captivated by a story of the undead, remember that the legend of the vampire is more than just a myth, it's a reflection of ourselves. It is a testament to the power of storytelling and the human imagination, a reminder that even in the darkest of tales, there is a light that shines within us all. The vampire myth endures because it speaks to something fundamental within us, a timeless fascination with the mysteries of life, death, and the unknown.